Welcome to the Spiritual Intelligence Podcast, Awakening Your Inner Power with Daniel Martinez Stahl, where we will explore, discover, and integrate different aspects of our spiritual and human nature so that we can all thrive and live life with more grace and ease instead of struggle. Welcome to the Spiritual Intelligence Podcast once again. My name is Daniel, and with me today, once again, is my free online course, The Secrets of Life and the Mind Revealed, that can be found on my website at lifebeyondforum.com. The subtitle of this program is A 9-Lesson Roadmap to Understand and Transform Life. In the previous episode, we went over the cover page, the introduction, and lesson 1, and today I'm going to be going over lesson 2, which is entitled Getting the Most from This Program. At the very top of this lesson is an image of a fuchsia and brown colored butterfly that's standing over fuchsia flowers with some green leaves in the background. It's a very stunning and striking image, and I just love the way that the light pink purple is popping out from the green background. Really, really beautiful image. The quote that I chose to use for this section is from Galileo Galilei, and it is, "We cannot teach people anything. We can only help them discover it within themselves." From Galileo Galilei. If you've been listening to my other episodes, you will have heard me say something similar to this. And the reason that I wanted to include this quote at the beginning of this section, which is emphasizing how to get the most from this program, is to really get you to take on board the idea that all of the learnings that you get are going to come from within yourself. The metaphors that I might share, the experiences and the stories that I share of my own learnings and of my own insights are really designed to awaken something within you, to help you remember something that you already know is true within yourself. It is not anything I say or do that really provides the ultimate shift in your experience, but it's the insights that you get that transform the way that you see life and the way that you experience life, and that shift your understanding of what it means to be alive, both as a spiritual being and within a human body. And so this quote is really meaningful to me and really powerful and really gets to the specific point that I want to emphasize in this section. So, beginning with the content of the lesson, the very first section is entitled The Meaning Behind the Words. In the previous lesson, we covered how our life is designed to feel like an outside-in experience, when it can only ever be inside out. This is similar to how everything seems to revolve around the Earth, when in fact the Sun is the center of our solar system. Before going deeper into the content of this understanding, I want to share a little more about this program and how you can get the most out of it. On the surface, we will go over a fundamental description of how we experience life and of how our psychology works. However, the deeper conversation is about the spiritual nature of our experience and of our innate capacity for wisdom, well-being, and peace of mind. Throughout this course, we will go over the surface level elements while referencing the deeper aspects of the conversation. Together, they provide a roadmap to help us navigate the challenges of life and a user manual for how our minds work. Each lesson will cover different aspects of the mechanism and elements behind our experience of life, as well as explain how our free will is involved in the process. My hope with all of this is to help you appreciate what it means to be both spirit and body, and to understand your capacity to directly influence the quality of your life. By recognizing some of the misunderstandings of life and seeing how things actually work, we are able to tap into our innate well-being, our wisdom, and the compassion and love at the center of our being. As a result, our relationships improve, we are more productive and resourceful, which often leads to more professional success, and we are able to live with more clarity, resilience, and peace of mind, regardless of the challenges we are facing. There is nothing to practice and no technique to learn for this understanding to help improve our experience of life. Our understanding of how life works and of who we are, in and of itself, does all of the work for things to change. The more we see the inside out nature of life, the more we are able to flow with the design of how things actually work and connect with the deeper parts of ourselves and our inner wisdom. It also allows the characteristics of our higher self to shine through more easily, and we become more graceful with the challenges of life, responding more easily, appropriately, and effectively with integrity. There is no end to the depth of this understanding, and everyone sees different aspects of the conversation more clearly than others. It is a very unique and individual experience for each of us, but the foundational understanding is the same. The next section is entitled Living with a New Understanding. However, there is a learning curve involved as we begin to live our lives with a different understanding and unlearn some of our old thought patterns. What is hopeful about looking in this direction is that even seeing this by the smallest amount begins to have an incredible impact on the quality of our lives. We begin to relate to our experiences differently, with more compassion and understanding for ourselves and others. We begin to see how easily and innocently we get caught up in the outside in misunderstanding, which in turn allows us to see it more easily in others as well. The next section is living with a new understanding. However, there is a learning curve involved as we begin to live our lives with a different understanding and unlearn some of the old thought patterns. What is hopeful about looking in this direction is that even seeing this by the smallest amount begins to have an incredible impact on the quality of our lives. We begin to relate to our experiences differently, with more compassion and understanding for ourselves and others. We begin to see how easily and innocently we get caught up in the outside in misunderstanding, which in turn allows us to see it more easily in others as well. We find ourselves living life more present to the moment and less focused on the noise inside our heads, resulting in richer, more meaningful experiences. We connect more deeply with our higher self and our wisdom, and we begin to feel our innate well being and peace of mind more easily and more often. I imagine this all sounds great, but there is a catch. Our understanding of this can only happen through our own insights, from within. There is a big difference between intellectually understanding an idea and living with a heartfelt knowing that something is true. Everything in this course might sound great, but it will be nothing more than a nice idea until you see it for yourself. We will see what we see when we see it. We cannot force our understanding to happen. The best we can do is to create an environment where insights are more likely to occur. Some of the things that help are being open to new ideas with no attachment to our old thinking, having the courage to put aside what we believe we already know, self reflection in a soft and relaxed manner with no desired outcome, looking in the right direction towards the formless energy at the source of our experience. By looking towards how things actually work, we are aligning more with life, and that alone opens us up to seeing more about how things really are. Like I have already stated, seeing the truth of this in the smallest way often has profound effects on the quality of our life. The final section, what's next? In the following lesson, we will go deeper into the mechanism that creates our actual experiences, and I'll describe the elements that form all of our psychological compounds. First, we will cover the foundational description of life, and then in later lessons, we will unpack them and begin to explore some of the implications of this understanding. Namely, I will share the parts of this conversation that I found to be the most helpful. This is an invitation for your higher self to share new thoughts with you so you can experience your own insights and deepen your own understanding of life. This conversation requires courage, so take pride in being here. Recognize and reflect on your own inner strength and willingness to improve your life and to go beyond where you think you are now. The information in this program will challenge the general conceptions about our psychology and how we experience life, but it will also seem very familiar. This is because the information in this program points to a truth of our experience that we all recognize but often disregard or dismiss because of how things appear. If you haven't done so already, please join our Facebook community, The Spiritual Explorers. It's a great place to ask questions and to connect with others who are in a similar journey. You can share questions or comments with the group, or you can send me an email or a private message if you prefer. And I close the section with Soar and Explore with Love. Thank you for listening. Hopefully you heard something new that invites you to reflect, to go within and deepen your own understanding of life and of our universal experience. If you enjoyed this conversation, please follow the podcast series on your favorite listening app and share this episode with others that you feel would enjoy it as well. Until next time, may we all soar with inspiration, explore with passion, and live with love.